It's November 1st, 2024, and I'm speaking with Mr. John J. Jeckovich on All Souls Day, and we're speaking to Mr. John J. Jeckovich today about his book, Their Mother's Sons. Mr. Jeckovich wrote this book approximately 25 years ago, and it's about his experience from 11 years old to his retirement ages. Mr. Jeckovich was in Company H, 2nd Battalion, 291st Regiment of the 75th Infantry Division of the U.S. Army during World War II. Mr. Jeckovich lives by the motto, then and now, yesterday is history, tomorrow is a mystery, and today is a gift. Before I start reading, Mr. Jeckovich, what's your dog tag number?
42965.
Good, thank you. You're looking very chipper.
Oh, yeah?
With all your brand new clothes and shoes.
Brand new.
You're looking very chipper. And I want to thank all the listeners that text many, many happy birthday messages to Mr. Jeckovich. Mr. Jeckovich turned 99 this month, and he's knocking on the door of 100 years old. Mr. Jeckovich can still read the newspaper without any glasses. If he shakes your hand, he can knock you down. He's so powerful. And Mr. Jeckovich never took a prescription in his life, not even a baby aspirin. Not even a baby aspirin. Most recently, Mr. Jeckovich's knees gave out because he jogged for 80 years, but that's why he's in a wheelchair today. His knees gave out, but everything else is running perfect. Mr. Jeckovich, what got you started in jogging?
I started my jogging.
Yeah.
I read a book on it 30, 40 years ago. Walter Johnson.
That was probably the best book you ever read.
Yeah.
That's why you're here today. When Mr. Jeckovich started jogging 70, 80 years ago, people did not think it was fashionable to jog. People didn't even know about jogging, how accepted it is in our society today. They would yell at Mr. Jeckovich, you need a ride, can't you afford a car? What else did they say to you?
Soup, cans of soup at me with full soup.
They threw Campbell's soup cans at him. They threw Genesee beer cans at him. And they said, get out of the road, jerk.
Yeah, where you down the road?
So, and now if you fast forward all these years, Mr. Jeckovich was before his time. So all the people that were saying derogatory things to Mr. Jeckovich way back then, I guarantee you they're pushing up daisies, and Mr. Jeckovich is here to tell his story. Mr. Jeckovich is still here to tell his story. And that's an interesting thing that Mr. Jeckovich is a highly decorated World War II veteran. He went in as a teenage boy. He waited to get drafted. He didn't enlist. What was your idea why you didn't want to enlist?
Well, I take care of the mother.
So Mr. Jeckovich, whose book is titled Their Mother's Sons, Mr. Jeckovich didn't want to enlist because he wanted to drag it out as long as possible. So when he did get drafted, he had more time to spend to help with taking care of his mother. His mother, Mr. Jeckovich's father died at a very early age of 93. He came 43, thank you for the correction. Mr. Jeckovich's father died at an early age of 43, and he instilled work ethics in all his sons and for generations to come. For example, Mr. Jeckovich's great-grandson, we just had a conversation with today. He's a commercial airline pilot. He's
24.
Started off at 22. He's a commercial airline pilot. He flies all around the world. He takes many hundreds and hundreds of people under his responsibility, and he does a wonderful job. But this is how it's taking place. Mr. Jeckovich and all his other family members, and we're speaking of Tommy Jeckovich, great-grandson, he's a commercial airline pilot, and just today I was talking to him, and on his days off, he's working very hard in his yard and his building. These guys just can't rest. They're hard-working people. And Mr. Marion Jeckovich, John Jeckovich's father, passed it on to John Jeckovich, and John Jeckovich passed it down to the rest of the children. So it's funny how those things work out. Mr. Jeckovich, what do you think brought you here to 99 years old? What things did
Genes,
you do?
the genes. You got good genes, good
what,
genes.
What other things?
Oh, I didn't smoke or drink.
You didn't smoke or drink, and you had no prescriptions.
Yeah.
And isn't it interesting the fact that when Mr. Jeckovich was in World War II as a teenager, 14,500,000 young men and women were in World War II. Unfortunately, 13,500,000 are gone. Many died during the war, many died of old age after the war, and many died of cancer. Why did they die of cancer, Mr. Jeckovich?
Why?
What did the Red Cross pass out like candy? The Red Cross
Red Cross?
passed out like candy.
Oh, yeah.
What was it?
The Chesterfield Paul Ball. The Red Cross of the USO would do that.
Yeah. So the Red Cross, it was very acceptable then to be a smoker. So the Red Cross passed out like candy bars, packs of Pall Mall, Lucky Strike, Chesterfield. And if the war didn't kill these young men, 20 or 30 years later, the cigarette's dead.
Yeah.
In fact, the cigarette brands were so powerful back when Mr. Jeckovich was in the war. When the war was eventually winding down and they're sending back the young soldiers back home, they had camps.
Yeah.
And what names were on the tents? Of the
Lucky Strike, Chesterfield, Paul Ball.
Yeah. So even the camp tents of the Army were named after cigarettes. And it's not like the filtered stuff we have today. Those things were all hardcore, non-filtered cigarettes. Non-filtered cigarettes. So what we got left is approximately, a little bit less, a total of 100,000, less than 100,000 of World War II veterans. But here's the interesting fact. Mr. Jeckovich was in the Combat Infantry Division, heavy armor. He was a heavy machine gun operator. And out of those guys that actually were on the front line, there's less than 7,000 left. There's less than 7,000 left. And we're losing them at a rate of 150 former vets a day. So you do the math.
No.
150. Mr. Jeckovich operated heavy machine guns. And how do you op heavy machine guns? How many people did you need to operate?
The whole squad, 12 people. Ammo bearers, a gunner, assistant gunner.
Yeah. And so it was a big deal operating these heavy machine guns. And what I didn't know, when I just found out, that these machine guns were water-cooled.
Yeah.
Water-cooled.
Water-cooled, they put antifreeze in it for the winter time.
So here's what Mr. Jeckovich is saying. He's stating this fact. He was in the Battle of Bulge, plus others. But during the Battle of Bulge, that was the coldest winter in over 30 years, way below zero. So in order to operate these heavy machine guns, they had to cool them with water because the barrels would get red hot. And then when the water was freezing, Mr. Jeckovich had to put antifreeze in the water.
Yeah. Keep it freezing. Yeah.
Cool the machine guns.
Yeah.
What happened when one of your soldiers grabbed the barrel?
He got his hand burned up, took all the fat in the skin down to the bone.
So he had to be sent back.
Yeah, he sent back home.
He couldn't operate it.
He's out of it, yeah.
But when Mr. Jeckovich was shot up, he was shot up in the shoulder by a sniper, and he had shrapnel still in his leg from a bomb. They sent him to Paris, and on the first time he was shot up, once you recover in Paris, I use the term loosely recover. If your index finger could pull the trigger of a machine gun, and if you're able to walk, you're called fit.
That's for duty, yeah.
Fit for duty. So you're all bandaged up, but if you can walk, and your index finger still works, you're back in there, right?
Yeah.
When you got bandaged up and healed up after 3 months in the hospital, did you still have Band-Aids up when you went back to the front line?
Yeah.
Where'd you have Band-Aids?
They put the uniforms on so they wouldn't see the bandages.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, that's interesting.
Your steel jacket on and all that stuff. Hide the bandages.
Hide the bandages, wow. And you went back to your same division?
Same outfit, same unit, yeah.
Wow. That is very interesting. So that's how, things went back then. A lot different today than what we have in the Army. And once again, I want to thank you for all the text messages we received on Mr. Jekovich's birthday wishes. And all kinds of gifts came in. And we recently got one from a lieutenant colonel from Caribou, Maine. It's kind of a funny gift. And what was that gift the lieutenant colonel from the Marines sent us from Mr. Jeckovich? Okay, hand it to him. Caribou, Maine. Mr. Jeckovich, grab it.
Show it to everyone.
Grab it.
Oh,
That's from a Lieutenant Colonel Russell Harrison, Semper Fi, Semper Fi. And this is what Mr. Jeckovich got, all kinds of unique gifts like this. And we actually have
that's neat, yeah.
a box truck full of stuff
Yeah,
that we
yeah.
don't know what to do with, but
Yeah.
they send them with a good heart, and we just absolutely
Yeah, thank you for
love it.
drop it.
You made it, Mr. That's from a Lieutenant Colonel, retired Marine from Caribou, Maine.
We're gonna hang that in this.
Caribou, Maine. We'll hang it in one of your
He
rooms.
said that?
A retired Lieutenant Colonel from Caribou, Maine.
Uh-huh.
He watches you about every night. He loves hearing what you got to say. He says, man, you're a true gentleman.
Yep.
Minutes?
18.
And so, plus there's all kinds of other things that came, and we sure do appreciate everything that they sent and all the best wishes. Mr. Jeckovich is knocking on the door of 100 now, and it'll be another great celebration. It'll be another great celebration. 2 years ago, when Mr. Jeckovich had his 97th birthday, I should add, the Army and the local fire department and the sheriff's office had a big parade for him, and Mr. Jeckovich was waving. Wasn't that nice?
Yeah.
And all the guys were coming up to shake your hand and
Yeah.
thank you. And then we had the general from one of the camps stop by separately and give you some type of token. I don't know really what it was. It's some type of coin. But recently the local fire department, and I can understand when Mr. Jeckovich turned it down because the weather was kind of bad, they would have a little parade for him with a couple police in the front with lights and a couple police in the back with lights, and there was going to be a snorkel, a big fire truck, and they would carefully lift up Mr. Jeckovich on his wheelchair and put him back to the snorkel and just drive like 15 or 20 miles and in the back of the fire truck. They would have had him tied down really good. He would have been safe, but Mr. Jeckovich didn't think this was appropriate at this time, which maybe next year on the 100 to
Yeah,
set
yeah,
in the back of the fire truck. It wasn't kind of a cold day, and I agree with you declining it, but so maybe next year.
Maybe next year,
Maybe
yeah.
next year we'll do it.
Yeah, maybe next year, yeah.
So, do you want me to start reading the book, or do you?
You go ahead, go ahead.
Okay, this is like the final pages of chapter 19. This is courting Delphine. You want to add a few things about courting Delphine, the final chapter, then we're going to jump into chapter 20. You want to say anything about you dating Delphine and how she met your mother?
Well, Delphine worked the grandson. She worked in the counter as a clerk, and her two friends were Rosalie and Agnes, and they were inseparable, the three of them.
Always together, the three musketeers.
Agnes was the oldest one.
Yeah.
And then Rosalie was sickly. She finally passed away.
Okay.
Beautiful Jewish girl.
Beautiful girl, yeah. So what I'm trying to say is, so you met Delphine at the Delwood Ballroom on Main Street in Buffalo, New York, and then from there you had to weed out these two girlfriends so you could start courting alone, right?
Yeah.
How'd you do that? How'd you nicely and diplomatically weed out the two girlfriends?
Oh, you mean Leila and Irene?
Yeah, how did you?
Well, I only knew him for about 2 years, and I says, Jack got a good. He's pretty fat on you. He says, I think you ought to take him. He's getting a little upset about it. I told the other one the same thing,
So
and they graduated away.
So you set the bait, and now you had Delphine alone.
Yeah.
And during this courting period, you never brought any of these former girlfriends to meet your mother.
No.
But Delphine Stulak, you did. Tell us how that went, Mr. Jeckovich.
My mother knew of Delphine because I talked about her, but she never met her and never talked to her. And I told Delphine, well, this Sunday we got to go down there, a Sunday afternoon, and talk to my mother. You meet her and that. He said, well, can't we wait a while? I said, no, what are we going to wait for? So we got that Sunday. He said, let's go around the block a couple times. So we went in there, and the first thing my mother says, you get back, it was Sunday afternoon, she said, you get back in that kitchen and finish those kitchen cupboards up there. I'll take care of Delphine.
And how did that go?
Oh, that was beautiful. My mother hooked up with Delphine. That was the best thing that happened to her. Hello.
So that was a good system then, right?
Yeah.
And so the conversation between your mother and Delphine initially took off well.
Oh, yeah.
And for 40, 50 years after that, Delphine and your mother were best of friends.
Oh, my mother was alone. She was out. My father passed away at 43.
Yeah.
Kids were gone.
Yeah, and so this was a perfect match made in heaven. And Delphine and you would live upstairs, your mother was downstairs, so anything your mother needed, you're right there.
Yeah.
You're right there. Now let's just say your 4 or 5 other girlfriends, how would they have done meeting your mother?
How would they have done it?
Yeah, meeting your mother.
They probably make out all right. Go neat, orderly, clean.
But I understand that, but how would your mother have accepted the other girlfriends?
Well, they're different personalities. All affecting the personality, yeah.
How would your mother have accepted Ann Mahaney from Owensboro, Kentucky?
How she would accept her?
Yeah, Ann Mahaney.
I don't think she would.
She wouldn't?
No.
Okay.
That's the one I call her mother.
Yeah. Well, that is an interesting story. And then Delphine and your mother were like 2 peas in a pod.
Oh, yeah.
They did everything together.
But then when Delphine learned to drive, my mother was on it all the time.
When you first got married, was Delphine having a driver's license?
No, she couldn't drive.
And who taught her to drive?
I did, yeah.
And how'd she do?
She did good. I mean, we had the Volkswagen then. She got into gears for a while, but she got into it, yeah.
Did your mother ever drive?
No.
Did your mother have any ambition to drive?
No.
Did your father drive?
No, neither one of them wanted to drive.
But your father had a beautiful Packard.
And it's stored in the garage, yeah.
Beautiful Packard automobile.
Yeah.
And so who used the Packard?
No, but when Steve got older and he was going to high school, he grabbed the Packard and drove it every day to school.
And did he take you to school?
No, I wouldn't ride with him.
Why not?
Well, it's above my calling.
Why, you think that car was a little too flashy?
Yeah.
A little too flashy? And well, that gets to me to a question. How many minutes?
11.
That gets me to a question about you and cars. I know you're before your time when in the 60s you had custom-made an international pickup truck, 4-door,
Yeah.
which you put a plow on and you made a decent living. But then it was very unusual. You never see what's called a crew cab pickup truck,
Yeah.
4-wheel drive. Now you look.
Yeah, but that wasn't a pickup truck. That was a regular international truck.
No, yeah, okay. But it had 4 doors, correct?
Yeah.
But now you look to your left, you look to your right, and the only thing you see is 4 doors. So back when you did this, there was very rarely a 4-door truck.
Yeah.
And then also, you had something that the people in your town nicknamed the Green Monster.
Yeah.
That was an international travel, which was highly sought after, but no one had SUVs then. But you did.
Yeah, Delphine loved that truck.
Yeah.
She was a good driver on it, yeah.
Now if you look at every parking lot,
Yeah.
it's almost SUVs.
Yeah.
So you're kind of before your time. You're before your time in those 2 aspects. And another thing I wanted to mention, on the way to this studio today, I seen a lot of people jogging. Jogging is fashionable now. Like when you were jogging, you were the oddball. They thought that, you know, couldn't afford a car, you didn't have no way to get around, but you were simply doing it for your health. Now, people are much more educated, and I see people jogging all over the place. They have these very expensive uniforms.
Yeah, they made for them, yeah.
Like gloves and water bottles and all kinds of matching hats and stuff. Very expensive and it looks very nice. But my understanding, when you jogged, you had corduroy pants, an old t-shirt, and old sneakers. But as time went on, did you ever get into the fashion
No.
of buying all this expensive clothes?
No.
So tell us how you would jog them. With corduroy pants,
Yeah,
t-shirt,
yeah.
and that was it, right?
Yeah, I wore those sneakers probably for 3 years.
So you wouldn't get into all these
No.
$500 and $600 suits.
No.
Did you ever wrap a water bottle around your waist?
No.
No. What advice can you give to young people now that want to start jogging?
Set a goal and make that goal. Don't stop and go. Stop and go. That's the worst thing you can do. You'll kill yourself. Say you want to set a goal of 2 miles the first time. Go 2 miles for a week. Next week go 2.5, and then start building it up as much as you can take.
I see. So what you're saying is set a goal, say 1 mile and do it, 2 miles and do it, but don't like run for 50 yards, stop,
Yeah.
and start up again because that's not doing any good.
No, that's bad on your heart and bad on your system.
So that's not good. So you want to set a goal, do your goal, stop, and that's it.
Yeah.
Now, when we're speaking about walking and jogging, you worked at a place called Kimberly-Clark for 35 years. Did your truck tires, your SUV tires, your car tires ever make it to that parking lot?
No, I walked every day.
So that one day you drove there.
No,
What would you do during a big snow blizzard?
I would go
And what would you do during a rain blizzard?
to get an umbrella.
I'll be damned. So your car tires never made it to that parking lot?
No.
That's
God
amazing.
bless you.
That's amazing. That is a great story. For 35 years, did you ever miss work?
No.
Never missed work. I'll be.
Well, then I had the laundromat going too. I had 2 laundromats going too.
All right, tell us all about that. I'd like to hear.
Duplex, iron wash.
And then you had that while you still worked at Kimberly-Clark?
I worked. I never missed a day there. People that worked there come into the store and say, "John, how come you're here?" And I said, "I work here. I clean up here. I got a job here."
So you never told them that you owned it?
No.
I like that. I like that. Did your wife, Delphine, work at the Duplex Giant Wash?
No.
No?
She would come. Well, at that time, the culture, she could stay there till 10, 11 o'clock because the fire hall was across the street. The police station was down two stores down. She was safe, but you couldn't do that today. So I'd go home at 10. I said, I got 15, 16, 17, 18, and 19 washers sterilized. Use those to wash your clothes.
Oh, okay, so let me understand. You would detail these washers and sterilize them, and then you would tell your wife Delphine to bring the household clothes and
But
do
that's what she would come down and wash the clothes, yeah.
But from the time Delphine got to the laundromat, couldn't someone else have used those washers?
Well, she put a do not start tag.
Oh, okay, so you put a do not start tag on it.
Yeah.
Okay, that's very smart. That's very smart. And then you also did the plowing business.
Plowing, yeah.
You plowed all over with that international, didn't you?
Yeah. Martha gave me $5.
I think she had a big heart. though.
That Pond Henry said, "You plow all that stuff in front of my driveway and in front of my garage."
Hey, I think Martha had a big heart, though. She just didn't understand.
Yeah.
And the other guy was complaining because there was you plowed the alley.
Furrow, you live in furrow, yeah.
Yeah, but how
What are you
else?
gonna do with it?
How else could it?
The Pine said, "What are you putting that dumping that snow in my driveway?" I said, "I'm not dumping your snow in the driveway. I'm almost in the creek trying to get the snow in the creek."
They just didn't understand how a plowing
No, I
system
said,
works.
no, you're making a mess of my driveway. I said, "I'm not making a mess. When I go down, I leave a furrow. What am I gonna do? Come back.
Yeah.
What I need is a backhoe on a truck. Turn it around, put a plow in the back."
So even back then, people complained.
Yeah,
How about that Lapine? Did she?
that was the Pine, yeah.
Yeah. But that plowing was a good business, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But would you ever open up a laundromat today?
No, no, no.
Why not?
I don't think they're hiring a self-attended laundromat.
But what about how do you think the public would take care of your laundromat?
Well, that would be a problem too.
So the people aren't like they were back then.
And first of all, most people have a wash machine now.
Yeah.
You got to go down to real low-class neighborhood to get it. That's what I did.
Yeah. But you found good people.
Yeah, they were good people, good, kind people. Yeah.
They're respectable people.
Yeah, yeah.
Now today, do you think they'd keep your equipment clean and nice? Do you think the people
They
today?
throw the snow, packs of snow all over the floor and everything else.
Yeah. Wow. Minutes, please. Yeah, that's an interesting story. Wow. That is something. Where were you on when you heard about you're a boy at this time at Pearl Harbor on December 7th? Where were you?
Right.
When everyone in the world heard about Pearl Harbor being bombed.
That was 7 in the afternoon. I was skating on the creek.
Yeah, you were a teenager then, and the word spread fast. And what did your mother say? Uh-oh, or I think we're in trouble.
Yeah,
They
she
knew.
said, "You're 19 years old. You're gonna be going, Johnny."
Yeah, you're gonna be gone.
See, Stevie got a student deferment.
Oh, okay.
Lucky he was too young. Well, no, he joined the Coast Guard.
Coast Guard. That's really amazing that that all the young boys went, all the young ladies volunteered. 14,400,000 and 13,400,000 are gone. Less than 100,000, less than 7,000 combat vets. That is just amazing.
Well, if I didn't know that, the Army taught me to run me all over the world. I was all over.
Yeah. After the Battle of Bulge, that was like the ending, because Hitler committed suicide right during that. And that was pretty much the World War II on the European theater was winding down. Were you concerned because they needed plenty of men in the Pacific?
Yeah.
Were you concerned they were going to send you to the Pacific?
Well, they were going to go by points and dependency. If you had enough points, that you had 2 or 3 kids, young kids at home, you excluded. Well, I didn't have any. I had 2 young kids, and I was 19. I was 22 then. I was expendable.
So did you think that you were going to be sent to the Pacific?
Yeah, I think I'd be going, but I didn't go.
All the young soldiers are saying, I hope like hell I don't get sent to the Pacific.
Oh, yeah.
Because they made it through the Bulge, they made it through all the
Yeah,
European
I'm
fight.
glad I went to Europe, yeah.
But there was only one guy that I read about that said, I'm going to the Pacific.
That was Patton.
You're damn right.
Yeah.
He ended that war in Europe. He goes,
Yeah, he was war crazy. He was war crazy.
he goes
yeah.
I'm getting to the Pacific right away because I'm not going to let no other generals take credit.
Yeah,
I want the credit.
yeah.
I want the credit.
He had a big ego.
A huge ego. Did you have a run-in with him?
Patton?
Yeah.
Ever ride with him?
No, you had a run-in with him when you were in the barn in the winter. What happened then?
Well, it was midwinter. Temperature outside was probably 22 degrees. There's a lot of snow on the ground. And we walked all day. There was no transportation available. Until the guys grabbed that barn over to check it out, make sure that there's no booby traps in it, make sure that there's nobody living upstairs that could bother us. They checked it all out. And I said, is it warm? And he said, warm as hell in the barn with the hay in there.
Hey.
So let's settle in there.
Oh, wow.
So, but Clint was the driver, and he didn't camouflage that truck good enough, and Patton spotted it.
Oh.
At 3 o'clock in the morning, he says, "Get your goddamn ass out there, go on the next checkpoint. I'm out there getting soaking wet, and you're sitting there pissing your pants."
So he threw you all out. That was the first time you seen him and the last time, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Unbelievable. That's a great story. That is a great story. Yeah, like I said, he wanted to go to the Pacific.
No.
Right after.
I was lucky, yeah, I was lucky.
Yeah. And because when the war was winding down, most young soldiers said,
Yeah.
hell, I made it this far. I don't want some crazy sniper to shoot me. And they were always very careful towards the end.
Yeah, yeah.
Because you made it through this heavy fighting on the front line, and then you have to keep on looking in the trees.
They send you out to patrol, and
Yeah.
patrol at nights are dangerous.
Yeah, because there might be some
You could
rogue
step
guy.
out of mine, you could step out of sniper and everything else.
And they're still
10 seconds.
having mines today blowing up.
Huh?
still today. mines
Oh,
are
yeah,
going up.
oh, yeah.
It's just
All
amazing.
those big bombs, the B-25s dropped down, they're picking those up
They're
too.
picking